Bringing up Bates fans, shave OCKD by Ellie Bates behavior. The Bates family, stars of the popular reality TV show Bringing Up Bates, have long been known for their wholesome, faith-based lifestyle and large, close-knit family dynamic. As one of the younger members of the family, Ellie Bridget Bates has typically flown under the radar compared to her more spotlight-heavy siblings. However, recent developments involving Ellie have left many fans of the show both surprised and confused. A noticeable change in her behavior has triggered discussions across social media platforms, fan forums, and even family-centered blogs that follow the Bates family closely. Born on April 28, 2007, Ellie is the 19th of Gil and Kelly Jo Bates' 20 children. She has grown up in front of the camera and was introduced to the public at a very young age when the Bates family was first featured on the show. Viewers have watched Ellie grow from a cheerful, quiet little girl into a teenager discovering her identity. However, recent interactions and public posts have given fans pause, as Ellie now appears to be taking steps that are markedly different from the image they've grown accustomed to over the years. Over the last few months, Ellie's online presence has undergone a noticeable transformation. Fans first started talking when she began posting content that seemed outside the norm for a Bates child, while the older Bates girls have carefully curated online personas that align with their family's values, typically promoting modesty, Christian faith, family, and homemaking. Ellie's newer posts have sparked debate. Though Ellie doesn't run an official public Instagram account like some of her older siblings, images and mentions of her through family accounts and tagged photos began suggesting a new direction. Whether it's her choice of attire, the way she carries herself in family photos, or the tone she uses when engaging in public conversations, there's a distinct shift that longtime followers have picked up on. What's particularly interesting is that Ellie's behavior hasn't necessarily been rebellious in the traditional sense. No criminal activity, no overtly inappropriate language, no tabloid-worthy scandals. Yet, within the conservative circles that follow the Bates family, even small deviations can seem significant. For example, appearing in photos with makeup, wearing less traditional clothing, or being seen with unfamiliar friends has been enough to raise eyebrows. Discussion boards such as Reddit and Facebook fan pages for Bringing Up Bates lit up with commentary when Ellie appeared in a group photo sporting more trendy fashion choices that diverged from the family's modesty standards. Comments poured in, with some fans defending her right to grow and explore her identity, while others questioned whether she was beginning to stray from the family's core values. One post read, "I'm not judging her, but this doesn't look like the Ellie we knew. I hope she's okay, and not trying to fit into a crowd that won't have her best interest at heart." Another fan commented, "She's a teenager, and teenagers grow. It doesn't mean she's abandoning her family's beliefs. Maybe she's just figuring things out like we all do at that age." In contrast, more conservative followers voiced concern that Ellie might be influenced by external trends or peer pressure. Several linked her behavior to the broader trend among young adults and reality TV families moving away from strict upbringings in search of autonomy. As of now, Gil and Kelly Jo Bates have not made any public comments specifically addressing Ellie's recent actions or fan concerns. The Bates parents are known for allowing their children to make their own choices as they mature, within the boundaries of their family faith and principles. They have previously stated that their parenting approach evolves as each child grows, focusing on heart-level conversations rather than rigid rules. Some viewers interpret the family's silence as a sign that nothing is actually wrong, suggesting that the situation is being blown out of proportion. Others believe that the Bates parents might be addressing the issue privately and not wish to escalate it publicly. The older Bates siblings have also remained quiet. While it is common for the sisters to comment on each other's posts or mention one another in family-related content, Ellie has not been highlighted or discussed as much recently. This absence has led to further speculation. Is it merely a matter of a quieter personality, or is something else at play? It's important to note that Ellie is still a teenager. At 17, she is in a period of life marked by exploration, self-expression, and identity formation. Being raised in a household with national attention magnifies the normal challenges that come with adolescence. Her life has been documented for entertainment, analyzed for deeper meaning, and critiqued through the lens of her family's religious views. Growing up in front of cameras often leaves little room for privacy or missteps. Any minor change in appearance or behavior can be interpreted as rebellion or crisis, when, in reality, it could be something as simple as personal growth or curiosity. What fans see as a drastic behavioral change may be completely ordinary when viewed in context. Wearing jeans instead of a skirt, straightening hair, experimenting with different styles, or developing a unique personality are all part of being a teen. Even in conservative households, the added scrutiny of public attention, however, makes the stakes feel higher. One cannot discount the pressure that comes from being associated with the Bates name. The family is admired and held to high standards by fans who have invested emotionally in their journey. As the youngest daughters grow up, the expectations can be intense. Unlike older siblings like Erin, Alyssa, and Michaela, who were introduced to fame at an older age, Ellie has essentially lived her entire life in the public eye. There's limited space to make mistakes or try new things without backlash. That's not just difficult emotionally, it's also developmentally complicated. Fans often want the younger Bates children to follow in the footsteps of their older siblings, maintaining tradition, modesty, and a similar trajectory. But Ellie may be carving her own path, which is not necessarily a negative development. Ellie's recent behavior is not happening in isolation. Other members of the Bates family have also shown signs of shifting perspectives. For instance, some older siblings have made lifestyle changes that would have been unthinkable just a few years ago, wearing jeans or shorts, working outside the home, or attending college. With so many children in the family, it's natural that not all will follow the exact same path. The Bates family has remained united through changes, acknowledging the individuality of each child while holding firm to their core values. Ellie's potential change in expression or interests might simply be part of the family's evolving dynamic. The modern world is far more interconnected than it was even when the older Bates kids were teenagers. Social media, broader exposure to ideas, and more access to peers from diverse backgrounds all play a role in shaping the mindset of the youngest generation. What comes next for Ellie remains to be seen. Will she eventually follow in the footsteps of her older siblings by starting a courtship, getting married, and possibly launching a family-based social media presence? Or will she take a different route entirely, perhaps pursuing education, business, or ministry outside of traditional expectations? There's also the question of whether she will continue to appear in public family content. As more reality TV stars begin opting for privacy in their teen years, Ellie could choose to step back from the public spotlight to live a quieter life. Fans may want answers, but ultimately, the path Ellie chooses belongs to her. The support and foundation of the Bates family give her tools for decision-making, but the specifics of her journey are uniquely her own. While fans of Bringing Up Bates may be surprised by Ellie Bates' recent behavior, it's crucial to view her actions through a fair and realistic lens. Teenagers grow, change, and discover who they are. Being raised in a large, religious family doesn't exempt someone from the universal experience of adolescence. Rather than interpreting her every move as a crisis or rebellion, it may be healthier and more accurate to understand that Ellie is maturing in a world that offers countless new opportunities and challenges. Her journey may diverge from the familiar Bates narrative, but that doesn't necessarily indicate something wrong. It may just mean she's becoming her own person. The key for fans is to remember that real people live behind reality TV characters. Ellie Bates, like anyone else, deserves the freedom to explore, evolve, and determine her future on her terms. And if that future includes new interests, different styles, or unexplored paths, she deserves support rather than shock. As she continues to grow, so too must the understanding and expectations of those who followed her story so far. Ellie Bates baby name ideas discussed by fans. Ellie Bates Webster, one of the beloved daughters from the popular reality TV show Bringing Up Bates, has long captured the hearts of fans with her sweet demeanor, close-knit family values, and more recently, her growing household. As a mother already to 5 young daughters, Ellie Jane, Lexi May, Zoe Joy, Mati Jo, and baby Brinley Noel, Ellie has created a consistent pattern in the names she chooses: soft, feminine, and rich with charm. Each name reflects a thoughtful process and an intention to offer uniqueness while still fitting within a family theme, with many fans believing that the Websters might not be done growing their family. Conversations around future baby names, especially potential names for another girl or even a first boy, have been steadily circulating within fan communities online. Across platforms like Reddit, Instagram, Facebook groups, and YouTube comment sections, longtime viewers and casual fans alike have shared speculations, preferences, and predictions about what names Ellie and her husband John might choose next if they welcome another child. These discussions have become something of a tradition within the fandom. Observers examine patterns from previous name choices, draw from the couple's lifestyle and values, and take inspiration from both traditional and trendy sources. One of the main focal points for fans when predicting baby names is the clear stylistic pattern in the names already chosen. Ellie has gravitated toward classic names that maintain a feminine tone and are typically paired with meaningful middle names. Ellie Jane Webster was the firstborn, a name that's both simple and sweet. Ellie feels timeless and bubbly, while Jane offers a grounding vintage quality. Lexi May Webster, the second daughter, continued the use of short, charming names with May as a soft and traditional middle name. Zoe Joy Webster's name introduced a bit more modern energy with Zoe, but the use of Joy still fit the cheerful and light-hearted tone. Mati Jo Webster once again mirrored the structure of the older siblings, keeping the names short and affectionate. Jo also echoes the use of Jane and May, contributing to the symmetry. Brinley Noel Webster, their fifth daughter, perhaps marked a small shift with a slightly more contemporary first name, Brinley, paired with a seasonal and elegant middle name, Noel, reflecting her December birth. This trend suggests that if Ellie were to name another baby, especially a girl, fans expect another gentle, melodic name with a classic or slightly modern flair. Most guesses assume the Websters would continue using short and sweet middle names or ones with spiritual or seasonal resonance. Discussions surrounding a potential sixth girl often revolve around maintaining the family's name rhythm. Fans commonly suggest that the Websters would likely stick to names that end in E or E sounds to keep consistency with names like Lexi, Zoe, Mati, and Brinley. Popular predictions include Emmy Grace. Emmy fits the playful, cute aesthetic, while Grace is a nod to faith and virtue, something that's important to the Bates family. Sadie Faith. Sadie has grown in popularity but maintains a soft, vintage vibe. Faith aligns with the religious background of the family. Ellie Rose. Though Ellie is already used by Ellie's sister, some fans speculate it could still appear in the middle or be adapted, like Elle or Elia. Rose is a common, beautiful middle name that ties into floral themes. Kinsley Hope. Kinsley follows the same contemporary trend set by Brinley, and Hope is another spiritual and uplifting middle name. Lainey Ray. Lainey has a gentle ring to it, and Ray complements the other single-syllable middle names used before. Other fan suggestions include names like Aubrey, Callie, Hallie, Gracie, and Tinsley, all of which fall into the same style and phonetic patterns seen in previous choices. The focus remains on choosing names that are neither too common nor too eccentric, striking the right balance between familiarity and individuality. Although Alyssa and John Webster have 5 daughters, fans have long speculated what name they might choose should they ever welcome a baby boy into the family. This kind of speculation is especially popular given that the Bates family often favors traditional and biblically inspired names, though Alyssa's naming style is slightly more modern and stylized compared to some of her siblings. Many fan suggestions for boys' names aim to maintain the soft yet strong dynamic that would feel at home with the sisters' names. Common guesses include Liam James. Liam is a strong yet friendly name, while James is a timeless biblical choice. Elijah Jude, combining strong biblical roots with contemporary flair. Grayson Luke. Grayson reflects modern tastes, and Luke adds a spiritual layer. Caleb John. Caleb is seen across many Christian families, and John could be a nod to Alyssa's husband. Noah Blake. Soft, sweet, and stylistically compatible with names like Zoe and Brinley. Other possibilities that frequently arise in fan chats include Micah, Ezra, Asher, Levi, and Isaiah, all names with biblical meaning, soft consonant sounds, and a compatible style with the existing sibling names. There is also speculation that if the Websters have a boy, they might choose a name that breaks the current naming pattern slightly, given that a boy would naturally stand out among 5 sisters. However, the middle name would likely retain a connection to faith or family. When fans attempt to predict names, they often consider more than just style. Alyssa and John's Christian faith plays a significant role in their lives, so names with biblical significance or spiritual undertones are often favored in discussions. Additionally, fans consider the time of year a baby might be born. Seasonal middle names like Noel for a December baby have led to guesses like autumn, summer, sky, or Eve for future children depending on their birth month. Family naming traditions are also influential. Several of the Bates siblings have reused or adapted names from their parents or grandparents. Some fans speculate Alyssa may eventually incorporate names that honor family members, such as using Gil or Kelly, her parents, in some form, or Chad, Aaron, Michael, or other siblings' names. Aesthetic is another consideration. Alyssa has curated a clean, polished brand on social media and YouTube, often showcasing her home, fashion, and family life in a calm, modern, and elegant style. Fans often match name predictions with that image, choosing names that sound upscale, sweet, and graceful. While most predictions fall into the traditional or trendy categories, some fans have expressed curiosity about whether the Websters might ever choose a gender-neutral name, especially in keeping with more modern naming conventions. While not typical of the Bates family at large, names like Rowan, Sage, River, or Skylar have been floated as possible outliers should Alyssa and John want to break the mold slightly. There are also suggestions of international or less common names that fit the soft, melodic sound the Websters favor, such as Annalise, Maris, or Eloise for girls, and Silas, Dorian, or Jasper for boys. The discussion around baby names has become a fan favorite, not just for the Websters, but for all Bates family couples. Viewers have come to enjoy participating in the process by predicting names, analyzing clues from social media, and even watching for baby registries or Instagram hints. These conversations often take place in fan-run Facebook groups, comment sections, YouTube videos, and forums like Reddit, where participants will offer detailed analyses of potential names, complete with meanings, popularity rankings, and sound compatibility. Alyssa, for her part, has occasionally encouraged this kind of engagement by posting baby updates or revealing names in dramatic or suspenseful ways, generating excitement and conversation with each pregnancy. Alyssa Bates Webster's baby name choices continue to captivate her fan base, with many eager to see whether she will have more children and what names she might choose next. Based on her previous choices, fans anticipate names that are feminine, sweet, and stylistically cohesive with the rest of the Webster girls. If a boy enters the picture, the expectation is a strong, soft biblical name with a middle name that reflects faith or family. Until another announcement is made, fans will continue to speculate, share their predictions, and celebrate the growing legacy of names within this well-loved Bates family branch.